For the sake of our nation, we have to go with Donald Trump.
CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
You're with the hard facts from the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime Studios. Viewers, tonight, I let the plain hard facts do all the talking. If you don't think that demographic change can have an impact on a nation's destiny, then it is best you follow closely tonight to what we are going to be putting out. Hopefully, by the end of my introduction tonight, we will have closed the gap. The reason I'm talking about demographic change and destiny is because Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has picked on this issue today, viewers. He has said that Assam's rapidly rising Muslim population, that he estimates to be above 40%, possesses an existential threat to the culture of indigenous Assamese. He has come out and talked in fearful terms of what he sees is a dramatic demographic shift at the state level. He says that just after independence, the Muslim population in Assam was 12%. And he's talking about the 1951 census, viewers. And he now says that that population could be above 40%. In fact, viewers, we know that in some districts of Assam, the Muslim population has grown to more than 75-80%. We'll come to all of that later, but first listen in to what he said.
देखिए, बदलते डेमोग्राफी मेरे लिए, मैं असम से आया हूं, ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है। इसलिए मैं असम में, बंगाल में हर दिन मेरा असम में मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन 40% हो चुका है। 1951 में 12% था। आज असम में मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन 40%। हम जिला की जिला खो चुका है। तो मेरे लिए ये मुद्दा पॉलिटिकल नहीं है, मेरे लिए ये जीना और मरने का मुद्दा है।
The Congress, of course, is not buying this. It has hit out at Sarma. The party claims that Sarma is polarizing the state with communal prejudice. In fact, Gaurav Gogoi, the Congress deputy leader in the Lok Sabha, has even accused the Assam Chief Minister of hypocrisy. Gogoi says, and let me quote him, Himanta Biswa Sarma seems to be suffering from amnesia in Ranchi. Only 2 months ago, he was seen dancing and singing in minority-dominated areas of Assam. Clearly, it was not a matter of life and death when he wanted votes for the BJP, unquote. Now, viewers, while the Assam Chief Minister's motives might be political, his views on the threat posed by illegal Muslim influx from Bangladesh aren't without basis. In fact, both the Supreme Court and the High Court have at different times sounded the alarm over the threat from demographic change brought on by illegal immigration. Sample this. In 2005, the Supreme Court, a bench of the Supreme Court said the impact of, quote, aggression, unquote, represented by large-scale illegal migration from Bangladesh had made the life of the people of Assam and Tripura, quote, wholly insecure, and the panic generated thereby had created fear psychosis, unquote, in other northeastern states. In 2008, the Delhi High Court ruled that the illegal Bangladeshi immigrants, quote, pose a danger to India's internal security, unquote. So are the courts also guilty, viewers, of playing to sectarian galleries? Not in the least bit. That is, if you are to go by the hard facts. And remember, viewers, I always put out the hard facts so you get closer to the truth, you can separate fact from fiction. The hard facts tell us that there has been a visible impact of illegal Bangladeshi immigration into India. While the MHA has put the number at 20 million, which doesn't sound like much, but in certain districts along the Indo-Bangladesh border, the change is palpable. That 20 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants estimate was put out, viewers, by Kiran Rijiju when, of course, he was serving as MOS Home. In Assam's Dhubri district, the Muslim population has risen by almost 11% between 2001 and 2011. In Bengal's Murshidabad, from 63% to 71%. In Meghalaya's East Khasi Hills, from 73% to over 81% in the same period. Tripura, by all accounts, has been the worst affected. Increased population is one of the first obvious implications. Estimates suggest that there are over 20 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants in India. Then there's always an accompanying demographic shift. The influx has changed the demographic pattern in the northeastern states, making locals feel overwhelmed. For instance, the proportion of the local Tripuri population was reduced from 59.1%, almost 60% in 1951, to just 31% in 2011. This was according to the Census of India. Viewers, I'm not making this up. Cultural and social tensions. The sudden change has affected the way of life of the local population, leading to simmering tensions between the two sides. Obviously, viewers, locals who were once dominant, their culture was dominant, find themselves relegated. And these are illegal immigrants that are coming in that are relegating the indigenous to the side, viewers. So obviously there's going to be a backlash, or there is going to be a fight for turf. And that also leads to a strain on resources. The large number of immigrants has substantially contributed to the strain on India's resources. And we can go into those facts. But there are so many, viewers, it becomes impossible to encapsulate in just a few moments. There are national security implications. I've already told you how the High Court reacted in the context of illegal immigration from across the border. Insurgency, the presence of illegal immigrants has also fueled insurgency in some states. It's not just in India. In some nations, the impact has altered their identity, culture, and politics nationally. Think about Albania. The Ottoman Empire's legacy and high birth rates have made Albania a majority Muslim country, shaping its culture, politics, and identity. The indigenous are gone. Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Muslim population's growth has shifted the country's demographics, influenced its political landscape, and contributed to the complex identity politics of the region, even leading to wars. Kosovo, another country that saw large-scale violence, majority Muslim population, has shaped the country's independence movement and political destiny, with implications for the Balkans' regional dynamic. And we saw that exploding, viewers, in the 90s. Malaysia, the growth of the Muslim population has led to Islam playing a larger role in politics, law, society, transforming the country's identity and governance. Lebanon, the influx of Syrian refugees, many of whom are Muslim, since the Syrian civil war has significantly altered Lebanon's demographics, exacerbated sectarian tensions, and influenced the country's political landscape. Neighboring Myanmar, I'm not even talking about Pakistan, viewers. Neighboring Myanmar, the influx of Rohingyas from Bangladesh has contributed to ethnic and religious tensions, leading to violence and displacement and shaping the country's political destiny. The Balkans, massive crisis in the Balkans. North African refugees raise concerns about demographic change, potential shifts in the political landscape in countries like Serbia, Bulgaria, Macedonia. Viewers, there is more than enough evidence to underline the fears expressed by Himanta Biswa Sarma. Should we be therefore ignoring him, trivializing his concern? Those are fundamental questions. Let's open this up. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, Ishkaran Bhandari, Tehseen Poonawala, and Kamru Chaudhary are here with us. Mr. Kamru Chaudhary, you hail from Assam. I'm sure you have seen on the ground the demographic shift. How can that not be existential, sir? At least for indigenous Ahom populations.
Yeah, Rahul, first and foremost, can you give me the definition of what is the indigenous Assamese population out here? What are the boundaries of Assam as a state? When did the Assam state come into existence? Was the Dhubri or the Barak Valley or the erstwhile Surma Valley part of Assam? Where the demographic changed in 1950, 1947? Or did it change in 1874 when the Assam as an administrative unit came into being because of the British? These are the questions that need to be pondered. Just gaslighting on the statement of a person, Himanta Biswa Sarma, whom I refuse to indulge in or engage with his comments, because every time he vomits venom. He is venomous to a particular community of Assam. I don't know why. But even during the first Chief Minister of Assam, Gopinath Bordoloi, refused to accept 20 lakh Hindu Bengalis, refugees from Bangladesh that were coming into India. He said, I am in a position to accept only 3 lakhs. But then it was our great Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru who imposed and who said to Gopinath Bordoloi, Lokpriya Gopinath Bordoloi, you have to accept these people. And these people migrated into India's Barak Valley, erstwhile the Surma Valley, when the plebiscite of Sylhet district happened in 1947. After that, the Salmara district or the Dhubri, Dhubri or the Gwalpara, these 9 districts that you are talking about where the democratic shift has happened were never a part of the Ahom kingdom in 1874. Prior to 1874, they came into existence. There was a wholesale migration. But when did the Assam state come into being? Well, was it into an Assam or a Bengal presidency? Were the hill districts part of Assam? Were those Barak Valley part of Assam? These are the questions that need to be debated. Just gaslighting and saying that the Assamese population is becoming minority in Assam is, I think, too much in instigating a fear or a fear of, what do you call this? I call it an Islamophobia in Assam.
Right. Well, of course, this is coming from a political party, viewers, that in the 1980s... No, let me just finish. Let me finish. Islamophobia. You've used some strong words. One second.
Let me finish once.
No, one second.
Or your channel is viewed by crores of people.
Okay.
If I've said anything wrong, I may be brought to court, but this is the fact, this is the history of Assam.
Okay.
You
One
cannot
second.
go and say that
Mr.
the Bengali-dominated population of Assam are non-Assamese. That's what the Himanta Biswa Sarma wants to say.
Okay.
We have seen the Bengali Khadao Andolan of the 1980s, wherein the Assam Accord came into being.
Okay.
Will Himanta Biswa Sarma say now that the Assam Accord is a pass?
Okay.
Will he be able to convince
Okay.
the Assamese population of the state that the CAA,
Gaslighting, Islamophobia are
being granted citizenship in
Okay,
India?
okay, relax.
Will you accept the
Islamophobia, gaslighting.
8 crore
Okay, sir, you
Bengalis,
asked so many rhetorical
Hindus in
questions.
Assam
Let me
to be amalgamated in India through
let me
CAA.
solicit some responses. I understand, sir. I know it's really troublesome for you. 1 second, viewers. There are many conflicting identity issues, but you know, this gentleman says that, oh, when did Assam come into being? Now, viewers, there is a state in the south, Karnataka today, where the government decides to institute a bill which will lead to non-Kannadigas not getting jobs in the private sector at certain positions. Now, viewers, you could ask the question, who is the outsider in Karnataka and who's not? When did the state come into existence? What is the cutoff? Arbitrary or not? Viewers, there are several states that weren't around, as you know, but they have a claim on being states, independent entities, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, etc., all on the basis of linguistics, Andhra, Telangana. They didn't exist. Where do you draw that line, viewers? Whose identity do you privilege and whose do you negate? By Mr. Chaudhary's great exposition here, we should not have a Telangana. In fact, the Congress viewers didn't really want to, if you remember, split the state. They were against all of this. There were riots that led to, in fact, the creation of both Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, viewers. And let me tell you, viewers, the status quo that we are today talking about, where there has been this demographic shift, has been enabled by IMDT Act that was brought in by the Congress government, struck down by the Supreme Court. And what did it do? It made it, forget about identifying, it made it almost impossible to throw out any illegal immigrants. Dr. Ranganathan, how do you view this situation? This response from Mr. Chaudhary? Forget it, he says. First look at the map, then talk about identity, talk about culture, talk about an assault on culture.
Rahul, good evening to you and to the fellow panelists. If we are to look at the map, then we are missing the woods for the trees. Because let us also look at the map of 1946 as India stood then. And let us look at the map of 1947. Why are people finding Himanta Biswa Sarma's statement problematic? He has stated the facts. How is stating facts communal? Is it not the fact that a particular religious denomination is increasing compared to the others? Look, if you were to take it as starting point, the premise that all religions are exactly the same, then there is no issue. Why should there be? Because under that premise, if one religious population can be the majority, why can't be the other? But the fact is, all religions are not the same. Some religions exhibit predatory, supremacist, exclusivist views and practices. The truth is, if such a religious denomination becomes majority population, it begins very quickly dictating its social practices upon others. And that is a problem. And that is what Himanta was highlighting. There are some schools in Jharkhand right now that have Friday as a holiday instead of Sunday. We have seen what happens in Kashmir Valley. The sitting chief minister there called for stoning as a punishment. We have seen the state of homosexuals and atheists and women under the majority of such religious denomination. Atheists, Rahul, are condemned to death in 13 Islamic countries. Is this a fact or a fiction? Homosexuals are caned, women discriminated. That is an issue for India. Now the second point, Rahul, or the more reason that we want the NRC. The NRC is a Supreme Court mandated and monitored exercise with an objective to weed out illegal immigration, as stated explicitly in the 2005 Sonowal judgment. Bear me a minute. In 2005, it was the UPA that proposed urgency in drafting the NRC in Assam. Chidambaram said he feared, quote, Assam could one day have a Bangladeshi chief minister. Shashi Tharoor said 20 million illegal Bangladeshis are present in India. He alluded them to being termites. In 2005, Mamata Banerjee called it the scourge of illegal Bangladeshi migration. And as to why all politicians cutting across party lines wanted the NRC, before some decided to indulge in politics and scaremongering, look, the decadal growth rates in Assam from 2001 to 2011, Hindus grew by 10%, Muslims by 30%. 3 times faster than Hindus. But if you look at the total fertility rates of both Assamese, Hindus and Muslims, they are below replacement level and the absolute decline is double for Muslims. So what explains this astonishing difference between the Hindu and Muslim growth rates? The finger obviously points to illegal immigration. I now quote from the 2005 Supreme Court judgment that relied heavily on the facts furnished to the President of India by the legendary Governor of Assam, Shri S.K. Sinha, quote, the illegal migrants coming into India after 1971 have been almost exclusively Muslims, unquote. Are we going to again ignore the elephant in the room?
Well, let me ask you, Tehseen Poonawalla, one second, Mr. Chaudhary. Let me ask Tehseen Poonawalla, we've already seen a partition on the back of a demographic shift. You saw it.
Thank you for having me on the show, Rahul. Whatever Anand said, let's take it from there. The Honorable Supreme Court under Justice Gogoi from Assam asked for an NRC in Assam. What happened to it? What Anand does not tell you and what your viewers don't know, the millions of viewers, is an NRC happened in Assam, published on 31st August 2019. Himanta Biswa Sarma, the chief minister who you show right now on screen, was the man who said, junk this NRC. Junk this NRC. You know what happened? Because there were more illegal Hindu immigrants as per that NRC than Muslims. Now, number 2. Anand rightly said that a TFR for both Hindus and Muslims is below replacement level in Assam. He's absolutely right. So he alludes that there has been illegal migration and immigration happening from Bangladesh. That's true. If it's happening, the most honorable Home Minister of India, the Chanakya, the man who I often says has the spine of a molten eclair, should resign, should go and hide somewhere, because the border security force and the forces there, the paramilitary controlling our borders under him. Why has he not resigned? Why is his resignation not being sought that people are coming in? Third, when you allude to West Bengal and certain districts in West Bengal, the population increasing, what the viewers are not told is the most honorable Prime Minister of India in 2015, Shri Narendra Modi ji, signed the enclave exchange with the Bangladeshi Prime Minister while praising the Bangladeshi Prime Minister that she is as strong as a man. Sexist statement, but we will not go into that. What happened? That's when the population in those districts increased. Why don't we put that out? And the last thing, very often it's said, listen, the Muslim population is increased 40%, 45%. Please tell me, or ask the Chief Minister to tell me, where is these numbers coming from? Census happened in 2011. The data is not released. Rajnath Singh ji promised he will release the data, is not released. Inke paas number kahan se aaye? Or number aaye, so let him release it on the Chief Minister's letter tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning निकाल दो कि इनके पास नंबर है. कहाँ से नंबर आए?
Okay. कहाँ से नंबर आए? says तहसीन पूनावाला.
Let me use one line.
Okay.
फालतू बातें इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि इनको हिंदू मुसलमान में डाइवर्ट करना है. वरना tell me
can
where
I
are
ask
these
you a
numbers come
question?
from?
Can I ask you a question? In Karnataka, there was a caste census. Why has that
Yes.
not been published, Tehseen Poonawalla?
Karnataka is bad. Karnataka is bad.
There we go.
Siddharamaiah is bad.
Viewers,
DK is bad. Rahul Gandhi
you
is
see,
bad.
the
I am
moment
telling
you
iske
ask
paas
the
number kahan se
pertinent
aaye?
question, now let
Iske
me
paas
tell you.
number kahan
Okay,
se
okay,
aaye?
now don't shout at me. I've only brought out a point that exposes hypocrisy. Karnataka does,
expose?
one second, sir. Karnataka does a caste census. The methodology is flawed, says Siddharamaiah, and it is not released.
Correct.
Viewers, Rahul Gandhi talks about caste census, caste census, caste census. Because they didn't like the outcome. The methodology is suspect, so it must be blocked. But Himanta Biswa Sarma, he should be faulted for stepping in and saying that actually the NRC did not meet its objectives because, viewers, we know that these illegal immigrants who come in from a particular denomination are quickly processed, are given documents so that they can become vote banks. And that's why, viewers, when it came to showing the paper, the kagas, they could. Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in. That's the fact, viewers.
Very quickly, I want a rebuttal because I have to say this. There is absolutely not, just as Tehseen found nothing wrong in the facts that I furnished. I compliment Tehseen. There is absolutely nothing wrong in each and every fact that Tehseen has furnished. Each and every fact. I compliment him on that. But the fact, Tehseen, is, please, I implore you, think of India. Don't think of Congress or BJP. I am standing with you in saying that the BJP has not done enough. In fact, it's probably not done anything in combating this problem. But is that the nub of the debate here? No. The nub of the debate is what Biswa Sarma has said. That is the debate, Tehseen. The debate is not whether one political party has done well or not. No, certainly not. And I stand with you on that. I compliment you. But you are veering from the debate because once again, you are talking about hypocrisy and what about you?
No, and that cuts both
May I make
ways.
one line
And that
before
cuts
Ishkaran
both
comes in?
ways, Tehseen
May I make one line
Poonawalla.
before Ishkaran comes
You
in?
can't fault, no, you can't fault one set of political actors for
I'm
not
not.
taking the NRC census seriously in that state of Assam, and another set to give complete exemption and say, "Arey, to
Just give me one
Karnataka wale
line.
to bahut hi kharab hai."
No,
ऐसे
just
थोड़ी
give me
होता
one
है,
line.
Tehseen.
Just give me one line. Just give me one line before Ishkaran comes in. In case of the NRC, Himanta Biswa Sarma is on record to say junk it. This was Supreme Court mandated. The caste census is not done by Karnataka. It's a caste survey. It's not constitutionally mandated. The
Excuse
NRC
me,
is
excuse
constitutionally
me,
mandated.
Tehseen
And he
Poonawalla,
junked it. The
please.
man who junked it is saying there's a problem.
My
And
dear
he's the
friend-
Chief Minister's boss is the Home Minister.
My dear
so
friend,
he should
my
be
dear
doubly
friend,
accountable.
Tehseen, you can spin this whichever way you
How?
want, but you got
How am
caught
I
out.
spinning it?
You got caught out there.
How?
Two censuses, viewers, two different response, two standards to judge the leaders who had a problem with
Karnataka
them.
is not a census,
Anyhow,
it's a survey.
oh please, okay.
It's not constitutionally mandated. Supreme
Oh,
Court.
now
Assam was constitutionally mandated.
now we are talking about
please be
now
clear.
we are talking about
Be clear on the
constitutionalism.
Constitution.
Viewers,
Yes,
they
sir.
did it. No,
We
hang
have
on.
to.
They did
He's
it.
the
No,
chief
one
minister.
second,
He's not
sir.
a troll.
Give me 30 seconds. Before the elections, viewers, it was massively publicized even in Bihar. This great census survey, call it what you
As a
want
survey.
to. No, one second, viewers. 1 second. When they want to go by statistics that favor their political interests, they will be emblazoned across the spectrum, viewers. Moment you pull out an inconsistency, it becomes a problem. That's what's happening here. And then they'll say it's not constitutionally mandated, it's not this, it's not that, but we are going to bring one in nationwide, etc., etc. But they still have a problem with the NRC. Their own allies, Mamata Banerjee and company, oppose it. After having backed it, everyone has done a U-turn, viewers, because at the end of the day, it's that 30-40% vote. Now, Ishkaran Bhandari, where do you come in on this? Democracy is destiny. That's pretty much been proven by the examples I've given. But here we are being accused of Islamophobia. Are you an Islamophobe?
Rahul, this is an extremely serious debate about Bharat's future and its territorial integrity. So please let me my adequate time. 40% the Chief Minister says has become the Muslim population, and we saw demography is destiny playing on your debate today when the first speaker starts with what are the contours of Assam, when was Assam formed, what is a part of Assam, what is not a part of Assam. That debate was settled in 1947. Raising that debate today in line of a debate on the what is the population of Muslims in Assam reminds me of pre-1947 position, where we have seen this play out, where the majority districts of Muslim population in both Punjab as well as Bengal went into Pakistan. So we have seen this play out, and I found it very tragic, but not surprising that today we are having a debate on what are the contours of Assam. So secondly, let's come to the other point. That reminds me of what Sharjeel Imam, Islam, what I'm forgetting the name, I think Sharjeel Imam, a person in jail, said, get 5 lakh people, choke off the chicken's neck, and we can separate Northeast. That was again, demography is destiny playing out just 2 years ago. Now let's come to the third aspect of it. At one point, we are seeing since 1951 how the Muslim population in Assam is increasing. But do we see the other part of it? In Pakistan, the Hindu population from 23% becomes 3.7%. In Bangladesh, it from 22% below 10%. And we are given that all the Hindus are not converted or killed there, but they came into the border regions of Bharat. But in Assam, from Bangladesh, the Hindu population goes down. In Bangladesh, the Hindu population goes down. In Bangladesh, the Muslim population has increased. In Assam, the Muslim population has increased. Please tell me what happened to the Hindus who are neither left in Bangladesh nor are present in Assam, or even nationally if you see the percentages. So what has happened to those Hindus that believes in face of this saying that the Hindus of Bangladesh have come to Assam? Because the percentage has reduced there. And lastly, and the most important point, because unfortunately, we seem not to learn from history. Rahul, you gave extremely important information globally on what has happened when demography changes. But we have a better and a live example of what has happened in Bharat in 1947, how the very rationale of which district will go to which country was based on religious population. We have seen what happened in POK, where illegally Pakistan occupied certain parts, and we have seen what used to happen in Kashmir, where demands of a separate homeland or either an independent country or a part of Pakistan was raised based on religious minority. This is the lived-in experience of Bharat. That is why religious population matters, because once you cross a threshold, we have seen how demands of independence starts. If we still don't learn from the lessons of history, bitter lessons of history, then we are condemned to repeat it.
Well, let me tell you, viewers, in summation, when people like Kamru Chaudhary attack you and call you Islamophobic for raising an issue of demographic change, you should just ask them, are they misogynists? When the Supreme Court came out and gave Shah Bano her due, her comeuppance, the Congress viewers went the other way. Then you should ask them, are they Hindu-phobic to have brought in the 1991 bill, the Places of Worship Act? Were they Hindu-phobic when they came out with the Waqf Act, viewers, ask them those questions. Because if you don't, viewers, you will be part of an expedition into gaslighting. Let me tell you. Did anyone ask this question when refugees of a genocide were deemed migrants, viewers? Migrants. Were those who deemed them migrants all Hindu-phobes? Did they suffer from Hindu-misia? Dr. Ranganathan, is this a pertinent example to pick or not? 30 seconds and I wrap up.
No, absolutely. And I completely agree with what my good friend Ishkaran has said. I mean, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We've already were force-fed this in 1940s. What are we doing again? I fail to, understand why we are intent upon repeating the follies of the past.
Well, viewers, we are, because there is politics at the heart of it. And today, of course, Himanta Biswa Sarma, impolitically, and that sometimes is good, viewers, it's good, impolitically came out and said, look, I'm not making this about politics. For me, this is an existential issue. Who is the me? The me, viewers, is an Assamese. At the end of the day, who is seeing this influx from Bangladesh and fears for his future, his culture. Viewers, I have a whole list which I have tweeted of the districts where almost, if you look at the demographic shift, it's almost plus 80% in at least 6 or 7 of them. Big districts in Assam, viewers. Big ones. And it's not the only state. Tripura, I've already pointed out. Bengal in pockets, viewers. In fact, if you really expand the lens, you will even look at Uttar Pradesh. I am going to take a short break, viewers. We'll be right back in 2 minutes precisely, because we have a big story coming out of Karnataka tonight.
I'll start by making one thing perfectly clear. Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period. There are some Americans who don't agree with Donald Trump 100% of the time. I happen to know some of them. And I want to speak to them tonight.
Haley is former South Carolina governor. She has served as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations during Trump's administration. Trump has reportedly said Haley will, quote, be on our team in some form, absolutely, unquote. Reporting for CNN News 18, I'm Alistair D'Souza in Washington, D.C. So it's late evening here in the US.
Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back, friends. More than inflation, perhaps jobs or seeming lack of them has dominated the just concluded Lok Sabha poll campaign, as you recall. Many believe that this issue alone cost BJP its majority, while the jury is still out on the reasons for the BJP not performing up to its own expectations. The Congress is clearly insuring itself against any putative electoral backlash on account of employment, at least in its own state governments. It has done this by resorting to parochial populism. The Karnataka Chief Minister, Mr. Siddharamaiah, has let it be known that his government is contemplating bringing in a law to offer 50% quota in management posts and 75% quota in non-management posts to locals in the private sector. In other words, to bona fide Kannadigas. This is his proposal, and let me take you through the terms of the proposal. 50% quota in management posts and 75% quota in non-management posts in private and government jobs. Candidates must be born in Karnataka and domiciled in the state for 15 years. Local has been defined as a person who can legibly speak, read and write Kannada, must have a school certificate with Kannada or pass proficiency test in speaking Kannadic. Industries must train locals within 3 years. If candidates are unavailable, companies can apply for relaxation over shortage of qualified locals, and local quota can't fall below 25% for administration and 50% for non-administerial posts. And if they do, there is also going to be a fine imposed on that company or the organization. Within hours of the announcement, there was an immediate backlash. Interestingly, most of the withering criticism was mouthed by very prominent Kannadigas themselves. Mohandas Pai, ex-CFO Infosys, says this is a fascist bill. As in Animal Farm, this is completely draconian and unconstitutional. Karnataka government is trying to destroy economy and jobs. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Biocon chairperson, prominent citizen of Bengaluru, said we must not affect our leading position in technology. There must be caveats that exempt highly skilled recruitment. R.K. Mishra, co-founder of Yulu, another genius move from the government of Karnataka, mandate local reservation and appointment government officers in every company to monitor. This will scare Indian IT and global capability centers. This is short-sighted. Then we have VSV Prasad, MD Swarna Group. He's come out and said such restrictions will ultimately end in stopping all infrastructure projects, and industries will be closed if such compulsions are imposed. Even viewers, the Congress's own allies, left leader, Member of Parliament John Brittas has come out and said that this is absolutely a move against the Constitution. Uber sub-nationalism is the last resort of the opportunists, to put it politely, viewers. But while Congress attacks the BJP's Hindu parochialism, it isn't far behind in playing the parochial politics either. Kannada signage it has introduced in February 2024. Siddharamaiah clears the bill for compulsory 60% Kannada on commercial signages. Lingayat religion December 2017 card was played years before that election, assembly election. State flag. Siddharamaiah forms a panel to study legal provisions, quota and civil services. In 2017, again, all this was before an election, viewers. Metro signboards. There were several. Kannada language push, May 2017. Blue collar jobs quota, December 2016. Labour Department proposed 100% Kannadiga quota in blue collar private sector jobs. The problem with Karnataka government's move is that quite apart from that, it undermines Rahul Gandhi's idea of uniting all social threads. Remember Bharat Jodo, viewers? As he calls it, it is retrograde morally and consequentially also in law. A similar law of this nature brought in by the BJP-led Haryana government, again before an assembly election, or at least in the run-up to one, had been shot down by the High Court. Restrictions imposed at that time, the High Court said, in the statute as such have far-reaching effect and cannot be held to be reasonable in any manner which would warrant no interference. The Haryana State Employment of Local Candidates Act 2020 is held to be unconstitutional and violative of Part 3 of the Constitution of India, and is accordingly held ineffective from the date it came into force. Now, viewers, there's a precedent. And should a party that calls itself the guardian of the Constitution be ready to sacrifice the document's ideals at the altar of vote bank politics? Also, won't law that bars non-Kannadigas, pits Indian against Indian, dent the spirit of Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo outreach? Let's ask some questions, viewers. Let me bring in Mr. Tehseen Poonawalla first. There's also, of course, Mr. Mohandas Pai with us. Dr. Ranganathan also with the debate. Suman C. Raman and the spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, from the Bharatiya Janata Party, also with us, G.S. Prasant. Let me first begin with you, Mr. Mohandas Pai. What is your basic opinion, objection, call it what you want, to this proposed legislation?
What the Karnataka cabinet has done in approving a draft bill to provide for reservation for local Kannadigas is regressive, uncalled for, unconstitutional, illegal, and bad for Karnataka and Bengaluru. And the reason is very clear. There's no dearth of jobs in Karnataka. There are enough jobs. There are more jobs than people applying. In many industries like construction, security services, and IT, there are enough jobs, but people are either not applying or people are not getting it because they lack the education and the skills. There is no shortage or discrimination against Kannadigas in the state. Every employer in Karnataka will ask for an interview or a test and will choose, irrespective of gender, irrespective of background, anybody who qualifies. So there are enough jobs. If you look at the EPFO data and the Karnataka jobs report by Quest and FICCI Karnataka, you will find that there are more jobs in the formal sector than people graduating and much more jobs than people coming into the workforce. So this is very regressive. And if you look at the details of this draft bill, you find that defines a local as a person who is born in the state, who has lived here for 15 years, and who can speak, read and write Kannada. And he or she has to pass a test by a nodal agency.
Right.
It also says that if you have a school leaving certificate where you said you study Karnataka third language, you may still have to pass the test, or that will be okay. Now, I am born here long time ago, and I've done very well in this state. If I want to look for a job now, I may be disqualified as a local. I may have to come in the other category because I can speak Kannada, but I can't read and write rightly because I've not practiced this for the last 20 years. Now, there are many Muslims who study in Urdu medium schools, and they may not be able to speak, read and write Kannada. All of them are disqualified. This is totally uncalled for, unconstitutional.
Okay. Uncalled for, unconstitutional, says Mohandas Pai. Let's open this up. Tehseen Poonawalla, I remember, and I've always taken a consistent position against this. When the Haryana government tried to bring a law like this in, we took a position. You were on this show. Dr. Ranganathan might have also been on this show. And you took a position against this. Very clear position. Are you going to also now take a position against this Karnataka attempt at playing the parochial card?
Grateful for having me on the show, Rahul. And also, Gujarat is 85% reservation for locals.
True. I'm against all of this. You know this.
No. And that was chaired and celebrated by the Honorable Prime Minister as Chief Minister of Gujarat.
Sir, there are many other states also. No. It's not just.
No,
should I
let's
take
be
you
clear.
through the list? I'll take you through the list.
No. But let's be clear
one
what the Prime Minister
No. Today I am sensing that. One second. Let me just take you through the list. No. Before you then suggest that I am cherry picking, let me take you through the entire list. No, hang on. Viewers, Uttarakhand. Quota in class 3 and 4 jobs for locals, 15 years state residency must for government sector. Maharashtra, fluency in Marathi, 15 years state residency must in government jobs, 80% quota in private sector. At that time, it was not BJP. No. Meghalaya, quota in government jobs. 1 second. Quota in government jobs for 3 local tribes. Arunachal Pradesh, reservation for scheduled tribes in government jobs. Madhya Pradesh, jobs reserved in private sector for local residents. Karnataka, job quota in private sector for state residents. West Bengal, reading, writing, fluency in Bangla is a must. Viewers, not BJP.
Not BJP, so, correct.
I only want
to 4 out of those 5 states is BJP.
Thank you, fine. I'm only asking you, sir. I'm only asking you. You have a problem with the BJP doing this? Do you have a problem with Siddaramaiah doing this?
So, it's slightly grey. Allow me to put my views across, and I hope I'm not interrupted. I absolutely think this is not required in Karnataka. Karnataka is a progressive state. It's absolutely not required. Great companies from Infosys to now our startups cannot be restricted on the base of local, especially highly skilled jobs. Karnataka is in a race with Telangana and with Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra in being amongst the top 4 states in the country. It should continue on that. So we should be very sensible. It's a draft law. It's not a law that's been passed. I'm personally going to speak to DK tonight.
Mr. Siddaramaiah has tweeted
once
again, and he is doubled down on it. And he's saying,
I'm
going ahead with this. It's in the interest of the youth of Karnataka.
What they should tweak, as my suggestion, I'm going to put that across, is that the knowledge of Karnataka, and I agree with what Mohandas Pai says, you must be able to understand and converse in Karnataka, in Kannadiga, that is important. Not the local language in Maharashtra, Marathi, in Gujarati is important. Not reading and writing.
We are talking about the principle. Rahul Gandhi says, Bharat Jodo, India is about all Indians together. His chief minister says, no. Sorry. It's Kannadigas
but you
versus
criticize
Indians.
Modi ji also, no?
The rest
I'm
of
saying
Indians.
Congress is wrong. Will you all criticize Modi ji? Will the BJP spokesperson criticize him? They have the guts.
He
That's
will.
the
He might
hypocrisy.
come in. One second. We'll ask him those
Put
questions.
them back.
But let me
Put
bring...
them back. 100 rupees.
Mr.
100 rupees
Tehseen
back.
Poonawala, why are you
He
doing
won't
this?
criticize.
Why are you doing this U-turn suddenly?
Tehseen will answer that. Wait.
थोड़ा बहुत electoral success taste कर दिया तो तहसीन पूनावाला has thrown his principles out of the window. Now, sir, this works. No, this works in that samosa course. It doesn't work on Rahul Shiv Shankar's show. Samosa courses में आप ये करना, आलू में अभी भी samosa ही है. Okay. Don't try to put mince in the samosa. Okay, hang on 1 minute. Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Let me bring in Dr. Sumansi Raman. Let me bring in Prashant also. Dr. Ranganathan, where do you stand on this? You've been on those panels where Tehseen has taken this great, position as a cosmopolitan Indian. Today he says there's a grey.
Yes. No, look, there is hypocrisy all around. In fact, as you know, I stand for complete and free movement of any Indian across any part of India. And I have been traditionally also against Article 35A. And when many people said that, oh, I am calling for removal of that from Kashmir, it exists in other parts, I said it should be removed from every part.
Yeah.
Every Indian should be able to buy land, of course, pertaining to regulations of every state that is different, but should be able to buy land, should be able to do a job in any part of the country. That is what India means. But this nitpicking of having this restriction, that restriction, I'm afraid it is the domain of every party. So yes, Tehseen and of course Congress party and everyone else out there, if you remember, the media were crying from the rooftops when Haryana did the same thing. But now they are all quiet and have slunk under the under the rock. The fact of the matter is, yes, Congress is hypocritical. That's true. The matter was struck down by the High Court when Haryana reserved its jobs. The matter is now in Supreme Court. It's been in Supreme Court for 2 years. And you know why it's languishing? Because the Supreme Court has asked the centre for its views on it. For 2 years, the centre has not given its views to the Supreme Court. What does it think about reserving jobs as far as Haryana is concerned? So I implore the BJP spokesperson out here. What, sir, are your party's views?
That's fine. We'll get to that. I'll bring in this gentleman on this issue. But I just want to remind viewers, remember what the Congress party fought this election on. Samvidhan khatre mein hai. Samvidhan ko ulaghan kiya ja raha hai. It's going to be torn up and thrown away by Mr. Modi, rewritten, recast in a different stone. This is what they fought the election on. And those people, viewers, who fight elections on issues, they should be held even more to account when they are in power and they go against what they talked about, what they promised in their manifestos. The BJP never once came out and said that, look, we are completely against this business of private sector quotas, etc. The Congress, a few years ago, and very rightly so, viewers, if you remember, there was an order passed where certain communities were not allowed to set up stalls outside temples. You remember this, viewers, in Karnataka. An order was passed. And the Congress lashed out and said, God, you people are destroying Bharat, pitting Indians against Indians. Now, this bill does exactly that, viewers. Dr. Raman and Karnataka BJP spokesperson Prashant GS let me bring you in. Dr. Aman, this bill pits Indians against Indians. How does this in any way, is it in consonance with Bharat Jodo of Rahul Gandhi? It's not even in consonance with Article 16(2) of the Constitution and Article 14 of the Constitution. Now explain.
Rahul, I think we are sort of jumping the gun and on this issue, because this is not going to be implemented. It cannot be implemented. It is complete. Just
you
a
know,
political
because you've
draft.
just had a conversation with Mr. Siddaramaiah right now, right? Just before you came onto this, you have a hotline to the man.
No. This is a political drama. Take it from me.
Oh, I see.
This has got zero chance of passing through the courts.
Right.
And the Haryana bill, which is very similar, has already been struck down by the Punjab and Haryana High Court.
Right.
Look, let's face it. Residence is not a criteria for reservation in the Constitution. Where you reside cannot be used as a criteria for reservation. Therefore, it was on this one of the grounds for striking down the Haryana bill was this. And the same holds good for Karnataka as well.
So you are exactly underlining what I'm saying. Why should it even be a trial balloon? Dr. Aman, when the Congress swears by the Constitution and the tenets of the Constitution.
It is not a trial balloon, Rahul. It is merely political pandering.
So
which
why
is done
should
by
it play
all
this kind of
political
politics
parties.
when it believes in the Constitution? The
government
only
did it in
politics that
Haryana?
they should be playing is to safeguard the interests of the Constitution, which they have said is for them.
I agree. But competitive politics.
Competitive
necessitates
politics.
this.
How? Look at the
what
wide
did the
berth
BJP
we give
government do
viewers.
in Haryana?
Look at the
It's
wide
wrong.
berth we give. Look
It's
at the
wrong.
wide berth we give the Congress
It is
party.
condemnable. No, we are not giving any wide berth.
Okay.
We are condemning it outright.
How
we are saying
charitable
it is
we are then.
completely unacceptable.
Okay.
If we condemn it, we are being charitable.
Yeah.
If
No,
we
you
don't
should
condemn
you
it,
should
we are
not
having
start
different
by saying that, oh, this is just competitive. No.
This is
Viewers,
a political,
this is cynical. This is a
stunt.
cynical exercise in undermining the Constitution. And since by popular demand I am being asked to ask the Karnataka BJP Prashant GS to specify why in Karnataka they have a problem but not in Haryana, can you respond to that bit of hypocrisy? Karnataka
Rahul, I was on
BJP
another
national
show with a
spokesperson.
BJP spokesperson who said that they support the bill.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let me ask
I
him.
am just placing it on record.
Yeah. Let me ask him.
Rahul,
Yeah.
let me give a different perspective to it before I get to your question.
No, why don't you answer my question first and then come to your perspective?
No, I'll give you the context.
Okay.
I'll give you the context in which Siddaramaiah is doing this. He is now involved in Muda scam, Maharshi corporation scam of 187 crores, and the ST funds
all
misuse
alleged
for guarantees.
allegations.
When it is happening and when he's caught and he was
Okay,
he's
so
not
he's
able to
diverting
answer,
public
he set
interest,
up a probe,
but public attention.
and
But I
therefore
want to ask you, sir.
divert attention
I want
from
to ask
people,
you, why are you
divert
taking?
attention
Okay,
from,
he's being.
the minds of
Okay,
people.
he is being.
Congress has now resorted to this tactic.
Okay, sir.
Because
Prashant sir.
as
Prashant sir,
BJP,
he is deflecting. But why are you divergent? Why in Haryana is it okay, and in Karnataka it is unpalatable? Can you please explain?
Rahul, see what happened in Haryana. The High Court has struck it down. The matter is pending now before the Supreme Court. So when the matter is pending before Supreme Court,
do you support the
it's
move
not,
in Haryana? Yes or no?
No, see anything which puts Indians against Indians is not right in that spirit.
Right.
That's
He's
point number
taken a
one.
position,
And therefore,
viewers. No grey. He says
meritocracy should be brought in.
Okay.
You cannot just deny somebody a
One
position
second.
based on
One second.
fluency in a particular language.
Okay.
We understand.
Let's catch
Well,
it.
at least Prashant
No,
GS has not said the cat is grey and it is dark
No,
and
no,
I
no,
can't
no,
see.
no.
I can't
See,
see if
one
it's
second.
black or I
Very clear.
can't see if it's white.
Let-
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
Tessin, he has
but-
shown that he has more of a
This is a
spine.
divergent view
And
of the
there is no
Congress here
molten
in trying to
lava,
mislead the people.
chocolate
One
lava,
second.
whatever you call
One
it. 1
second.
second. Dr.
One
Ranganathan,
second.
quickly,
One
and
second.
Tessin
Let me-
Poonawala. Yes.
Let me expose it.
I compliment Prashant, and he has the spine of a diamond rock, not molten eclairs as Tessin probably does. So I compliment him. But the fact also remains that Prashant is, pardon, I'm not trying to patronize him, is not yet the top echelon of the BJP. He would be in the future. The top echelon that selects the governor.
More reasons for him to fear, Dr. Ranganathan. You know what happens to people who are not exactly in the top echelons. Poor chap. But at least he has put his...
In Jharkhand,
Yeah.
in Jharkhand, when the government wanted to pass a similar law as it did in Haryana to reserve for local, the governor there blocked it.
Yes.
Now they have passed it again without the governor. So There are two rules clearly for the BJP there.
Yeah, absolutely. Jharkhand, of course, the BJP is not in power there. Now it is.
Rahul, I need a minute.
Yeah, now it's not. It's not right now. It's a coalition Congress JMM government.
The governor was against it.
Yeah, the governor was against it. Yes. Mr. Poonawalla. Yes. Yes,
I
sir.
applaud the I really applaud the BJP spokesperson, except Prashant on your show will not say that the Prime Minister as Chief Minister of Gujarat was wrong to bring in this law for Gujarat.
Arey,
He
now,
will
you
not
know,
say.
now listen,
And
will you ever say that
really
Rahul Gandhi,
say.
will you ever say
Not
that
really
Rahul
say.
Gandhi's
I
Bharat
think
Jodo
it's
Yatra is being undermined?
It's not
Come on.
about
Arey,
that.
I am
It is
saying
about
अरे भाई ऐसे मत
putting
बोलो.
an Indian against Indian against merit.
मैं और सुमन कह रहे हैं गलत है. We're saying it's wrong.
Okay.
You जबरदस्ती telling us we're saying it's
Look,
not wrong.
viewers, I need to wrap out of this. The point here is very clear. That this parochial politicking that goes on, whether it is competitive, it is induced by the desire for vote banks, is actually against the national interest, viewers. It is also against, it's ultra vires of the Constitution's two provisions. Now, the fundamental question is, who is best suited to guard the Constitution and who lies to the public day after day about suggesting that they are committed to constitutionalism? That is the question that you have to ask yourself, rising above all the narrow details. I leave it at this, viewers. The Right Stand with Anand Narasimhan up next.
Something two of the Republican convention is winding down after two highly anticipated speeches. Now, both are arguably from the Republican Party's most prominent Indian Americans. First up, we had Vivek Ramaswamy, who kicked things off with a joke about his very desi name.
I'm proud to say that I achieved the impossible, which is that most of you actually know how to say my name by now. So thank you for that. But on the content of your character and your contributions. The rule of law. And I say this as the kid of... Our message to every legal immigrant in this country is this: you're like my parents. You deserve the opportunity to secure a better life for your children in America. But our message to illegal immigrants is also this: we will return you to your country of origin because you broke the law. And the United States of America was founded on the rule of law.
For the sake of our nation, we have to go with Donald Trump. I'll start by making one thing perfectly clear. Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period. There are some Americans who don't agree with Donald Trump 100% of the time. I happen to know some of them. And I want to speak to them tonight.
CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan, coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio. First up, ladies and gentlemen, Union Cabinet meeting will take place at 10 a.m. on Thursday, and this will be a crucial Cabinet meeting ahead of the Union budget that is to be tabled on the 23rd of July, and that is next Tuesday. Now, ahead of the annual budget, the Ministry of Defence has actually announced the 5th positive indigenization list for defence public sector undertakings. The comprehensive list encompasses 340